Hey guys, I'm Logan and I'm trying to build my own motorcycle engine completely from scratch. That is designing, 3D printing, casting, machining, the lot. And in the last video, I did all the machining on this camshaft here. This is the intake camshaft. Now I do need an exhaust camshaft as well before we get carried away. So, well, that didn't do anything. There we go. So now I have intake and exhaust cam ready to go. Now the next step is copper plating. Now I've never done any copper plating before, so I have an old R6 oil pump here which is toast, and it's probably pretty similar steel to these, so I'm going to have a go at copper plating the oil pump before I get carried away and do the cams. Right, so the first step is I have hydrogen peroxide and I have white vinegar. I need to mix the two in here. Roughly even parts, but apparently it doesn't actually matter. Great. Making a mess already. And apparently cleanliness is essential. So I have clean gloves on and I've had a shower. Copper scoring pad apparently is the way to go. It's got more surface area. Right, so I've got to give this a while to react, and it should turn blue, which means I have copper acetate, which is what we need to do the plating. Now, while that's reacting, I'm going to clean these parts. Now, according to the internet, this is actually the most important step. You need these parts immaculate, so I've bought some stainless steel cleaner, which apparently gets rid of fingerprints and everything. I might just plate a bunch of things and see which cleaner gets it the cleanest, and then I can move on from there. Got the part connected to the negative. I have a battery attached to this here, which is a D-sized battery. This will be the positive, and I just got to essentially put both of them in the liquid. So I'll put them in now. There's tiny bubbles coming off the copper side. There's tiny bubbles on the other side. I'll keep an eye on this and I'll get back to you. Right, this is about my third different setup, and now I've got copper tubes and essentially no other metals touching the liquid, and I have doubled the batteries, so we have 2 D batteries now, so it's double D, double the power, and yeah, so it should be 3 and a bit volts now. Man, it's hard to tell if it's doing anything, eh? I did manage to do some copper plating. Obviously, this rotor is now copper. It's a bit splotchy, it's not perfect, and you can sort of see the difference between the two. I tried to put some coating on this. It put a nice thick coating on and then literally wiped off. So it was not adhered to the actual steel itself at all, which is kind of weird. I think I'm probably going to have to give this copper plating a bit of a rest. It seems to be a little bit hit and miss, and I'm not sure this is actually going to work, and there is other ways to achieve what I'm trying to do. So essentially the copper plating is to stop the hardening happening in the places you don't want it to happen. So you know, on a con rod you only want it in these 2 bearing areas. You don't want the middle to be hardened because it will be brittle and it will snap. And essentially the only parts of the camshaft I actually want hard are probably the cam lobes and maybe the cam journals. I'm not entirely sure if that actually matters too much, because they will be running in aluminium, which is far softer than steel. So I just have to put the camshafts aside for a second, and I think I'll probably, where'd it go? I lost it. Oh, it's over there. So 2 videos ago I did some casting and I have not done anything with it, so I'm going to cut all the crap off this and start machining this barrel and see what it looks like. There was obviously a small crack in the mould in the gallery here, so I've had to use a pick and a file to clean it up. Just measuring to make sure I got everything parallel and square in the middle. A quick preheat before some welding. While I've got the welder out, I'm going to whip up the bung on the lathe so I can weld up the water jacket. So I've been doing some a lot of welding, and I pretty much found a couple small bits of porosity when I was getting the head gasket surface sorted, and so I thought, well, better safe than sorry, so I thought I'll weld the whole damn thing. And so at least when I deck it down to the right height, there's going to be no porosity on the sealing surface for the water jacket and the combustion chamber, because that's what I'm most worried about. So now I'm going to go chuck it in the kiln to cool down evenly, and then I can machine it tomorrow. That head gasket surface cleaned up not too bad, pretty happy with that. And as you can see down there, there's a bit of shrinkage in the bore, which I was initially a bit worried about, but yeah, using my internal gauges and the verniers, I worked out that it's about a 2mm deep divot, and yeah, the bore at that width is going to be about another 3mm further than that, so plenty of meat there. So I'm going to chuck it in the kiln and do a heat treat on it before I get too carried away with the machining. Fuck it. The kiln is cranking away, and I have my 2 temperature probes, keeping an eye on things, because this is the risky part. For the T6 heat treat, we're going to bring it up to 530 degrees Celsius for 6 to 12 hours. Now that is quite a long time, and very easy to overshoot the target temperature and end up with a pool of aluminium in the bottom of the kiln, which I really do not want. So that's what that metal skin is for. That sort of stops sort of the I don't know, infrared radiant heat going into it and overshooting our target. And so I'm going to incrementally bring up the temperature, and once we're at the target temp, I'll start the timer. There we are, that is the first step of the heat treat done, and I must say I'm actually pretty darn happy with the colour. It has got a weird bluish hue to it, which none of the other parts have had. So now it needs the second step done, chuck back in the kiln at a lower temperature for the artificial aging. 154 degrees for 2 to 6 hours, and you were currently at, yeah, 154. That's the heat. Hold the phone, was that my stomach? Treat done and dusted, so let's get on to machining. I've done as much as I can do on the barrel at the moment, because past me forgot to order an 11mm reamer a long time ago, and apparently all of the dowels on the head and the barrel, which are 11mm, I used an 11mm end mill instead of a reamer, and that's why some of them are tight fit and some of them aren't. It's a bit inconsistent, so I don't want to mess that up. So I have ordered a reamer and an undersized drill, and they should be here in a couple of days. And I've been doing a bit more thinking about the copper plating, and come to the conclusion after talking to a few friends that apparently if I etch it in hydrochloric acid as well as cleaning the hell out of it before I do the plating, I'll get a much more uniform finish and a much better result. Gonna use brake clean this time. So that's hot water. Blue acetate solution as well. 21, 22, 51, 52. Okay. Well, it's very coppery. Is anything actually stuck to it though? It's not looking good. If we can look how much of that stuff's come off. Literally all of it just wipes off. Crap. The ultrasonic clean is a bit filthy, so I'm going to give it a quick clean before it cleans anything. Alright, so I've been at this a while trying different combinations of cleaning and degreasing and all that stuff, trying to get the surface plating to stick to the damn part, and that is the best attempt so far. So it's still obviously falling off. The other side is, you know, not very good, but this stuff has actually stuck perfectly to the part. So yeah, on the right track. I'm thinking the copper acetate may actually be the problem. It looks like there's a tiny film of some sort of oil on top of it. I'm going to probably whip up another set of copper acetate and yeah, try to figure out why it was getting contaminated. I've also ordered some nickel. It's called a strike layer, so you'll put a tiny layer of nickel on it and then the copper will stick to it really good. But yeah, I definitely think the ultrasonic cleaner with the degreaser is the way to go, and then using the acid etch, because that's giving us our best results so far. So I'm going to keep messing around with this and I'll be back. The D battery was, I think it was getting a bit flat and it wasn't really doing anything, so I have hooked up an old 5-volt phone charger, essentially did some soldering, wired it into these, and as you can see, yeah, we have a lot more bubbles happening really fast, so that should hopefully make us an electrolyte, and then we can start doing some plating. And a couple hours later, we have ourselves another copper acetate solution. This one's a little bit weaker, so that should apparently make the plating more uniform. But until that nickel turns up, I can't really do anything more with the plating. So I'm going to move on to the crankshaft, which I've been meaning to do some work on. So this is our roughed out 4140 crank ready for me to start machining on it. And before I do that, I want to make sure the design is 100% finished, because I know for a fact it isn't. Because if we look at these crankcases, which a wee while ago I fitted this bearing retainer to it, which put the bearing back into its correct place, which meant that now the crankcases, when they're done up, the crank binds. So there's a little bit of material to move off the crank, so I've got to do some machining, figure out what needs to be changed, alter the design so I don't make the same mistake on the actual crank. That's where extra clearance is going to come from. I just chucked it together after machining with the crankcases bolted up nice and tight. The crank is now nice and free, and my nickel has just turned up, so let's go do some more plating. Looking good. All right, let's do some nickel plating. So I've finally had some success with the copper plating. So the secret was the nickel plating coat under it will actually make the copper stick to it really good. Now I did nickel plate this, but I only had it in the solution sort of facing one way. So the positive was over here, and essentially I learnt copper plating and nickel plating are pretty much like spray painting. Like if the spray can's over here, you're only really going to paint the surfaces facing the can, and that's what happened with this. So I did manage to get the copper completely over this part after the nickel plating, but as you can see, it didn't stick to the parts where there was no nickel plating. So I need to definitely be sort of rotating the part, and I skipped all of those extra cleaning steps, the acid etching. I literally just cleaned the hell out of it with brake clean, and yeah, a nice clean rag, and then went straight to plating, and then cleaned it again with brake clean in between plating, and went to the next solution, and it is stuck on there, and it actually looks like copper metal should be, I think. So I think I've learned enough to be somewhat confident at having a go at plating these camshafts. So I'm going to degrease the hell out of them and start the nickel plating and see how we go. I was actually quite surprised by how slow the nickel was to plate. Compared to the copper, it definitely was taking its time, so it's just keeping a thorough eye on it, turning it over every now and then, and yeah, as you can see, a few bubbles. And to get proper coverage, I was having to move the positive cathode to every surface possible, even the inside as shown here, because that is actually the area I want the most plating. And yeah, did that on the nickel, now on the copper, and so on. Alright, this is our first cam that's just been plated. Nickel and copper. Let's wipe it down and see how much of it stuck. Because a fair bit of this should rub off, I'm imagining, and then it'll look more metallic. And I am actually pretty chuffed with how this turned out. I was thinking, oh, it doesn't look like it's actually been copper coated, it's only got a slight tinge, but when you actually compare it side by side to bare steel, it looks very copper coloured. So pretty chuffed with that. I probably will do one more coat on this just to thicken it up and make sure it's thick enough in all the right areas. I'm not going to bother recording the rest of that. It is awfully time consuming, and I'm just sitting here moving around my little nickel rods and copper rods and stuff, trying to get the plating as even as possible. So it's not overly interesting, so I'll just do that off camera. And that other barrel is in the other chuck. I'm still waiting on that 11mm reamer, and yeah, I can't really do too much with it until that turns up. So I think, yeah, this has definitely taken a really long time to film. I'm sorry about that. And on that note, this has been Logan from the Motorcycle Forge. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time.